prepared? Are your bodies ready? We're going to get back into this game here, guys. It is 27 minutes elapsed so far in the game. This is a show match here for the International Gaming League. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get it underway. Right now, you have heard the items and whatnot, so let's go ahead and knock this bad boy out. I haven't tried to actually stream here at 1080p while spectating, which is a little bit more difficult on the processor, but hell, we'll see what we can do for you. So, taking a look now at what we have going on about the map, we have a little bit of a defense coming out here from Allied, nothing too exciting there. Best in the mid lane, throwing out those tornadoes, doing his thing, and a bit of rotation perhaps coming out from Sparks and Guan Yu. We'll take a ride with Sparks here, as it looks like he wants to do a little damage. He's going to go rally over to his team now. No, that's going to be a recall, in fact. So let's go find Allied. Allied now making his way through the jungle. You can tell that they want to set something up. He's going to go for that deep ward over here adjacent to the cooldown reduction buff. He's actually going to have a decent angle to Alquang. I don't think he's going to be able to trap him out effectively around the tower there. So I'll go ahead and take you to this higher angle now. Pon is doing a little flirting there. He's actually going to stun out Jerby now. But that is not going to lead to any initiation at the moment. Over in the right side lane. You can see Xing going to farm up here really, really effectively. And if you notice the minimap, you see that that Root is starting to kind of spread back out as Curse is coalescing more or less around the mid lane here. The Gold Fury, of course, did go down to Curse just before we left you guys. That being said, Xing has actually pushed up pretty far now. Red buff being picked up currently by the Gentlemen of Curse. You imagine they will rotate over here. Sobek is here to peel for Artemis if need be. Guys, please let me know in the chat if there's anything wrong with the stream. We'll be happy to help you out. I can definitely turn down the resolution if this is the frame rate's not good for you guys. It looks a little choppy on my end. We're gonna have an initiation coming in from Pon. The ultimate immediately coming out there from Xing. He's gonna turn around on a Pon. His ability gonna get hit now. Those crits coming out. Pon's taking a lot of damage. H-Shaman is for Shadow Cube. Will he be able to heal up? The heal came out before the H-Shaman was done, I believe. There, and Xing with a beautiful play is gonna be able to pick up Pon now. The rotation over from Hercules, will it be enough now to get to this tower? In fact, the slow's gonna come out double slow now. The ring is out from Odin, but what do they have to put in there? It's gonna be a healing beam from Jerby, but I don't think they have enough damage really at this point to pick him up. It looks like they want to go into the tower. Actually, that tossback will be enough. If Xing can land these auto attacks, so much damage coming out from the artist at this point. Going to Aegis himself to avoid a Guan Yu ultimate. A rotation coming in now from Wukong. The ultimate's going to come out. What do you have for us? Last is going in there with the ultimate, putting out the auto attacks, and he is going to be able to pick up that kill. Now going to go in on the tower, knowing it is quite low. He's going to take a lot of damage from it. Going to leap out. Last now will probably look to re-engage. Going to get some heal up there. The ultimate's coming out from Zapman. We'll give you guys a little bit better angle on this now. Zapman may be able to push them back. Lassus almost took down that tower. They didn't have the focus fire over. Shadow Q going to continue this initiation, and this could very well be a kill. A great pillar into stun by Zapman there, and this will be enough to pick up Lassus. No! It's going to be a huge ult from Jeremy. In fact, it's going to take him down. Lassus will fall ultimately to the bestest tornado there, but not a play that should be overlooked by Jerby there to pick up that kill on her after what was going to be a free kill onto Wukong. So big plays there by Jerby. Did not enough to net a save on his teammate. Of course, his Alquang tornado's too strong, but a very, very nice play nonetheless. Xing here is now going to looks like push up the mid lane a bit. I imagine they're going to pick up these farm, and then they're going to and maybe take a look at the Gold Fury, which will be coming up relatively shortly, I imagine. Taking a look at the items, nothing really crazy coming out again. Titan's Bane starting to be worked on now by the Artemis here. And you can see Xing's damage is really, really massive at this point. This is not the Vex tourney. This is a show match here on IGL. This is the International Gaming League. Basically between Root and Curse to help promote the teams, help promote the website and the service. So, yes, Jeremy actually did hit an ultimate there. You see this right side lane is quite low now for Curse. That tower is in a lot of danger of falling down. No towers down besides the mid here currently for Root. So it is a 1-to-1 tower down currently, and but Curse's right side here getting quite low. So, taking a look around the map a bit, we see, the wards are going to respawn back up, and we're going to see the Gold Fury coming back here in a couple of minutes. So you should, anticipate that Curse will play this fairly passively. There you do see it spawning back up. Ally knows it as well. Going to try to rotate over there. I'm sorry, he's actually checking out the red buff, maybe try to ward over the wall. That's indeed what he did do. Now we have that Gold Fury attempt coming out, and let's see if Allied's going to be able to break this up at all. It's going to be pretty difficult for him to get in there. He does have the Hand of the Gods to attempt to steal. I mean, they know he's there, and it all just comes down to who gets the better steal. Here comes Allied going in, taking his positioning out. The Desert Fury coming out from the Honor, doing quite a bit of damage to our Gold Fury here now as well. The Tornadoes are out There's the ring. Here comes the ultimate now from Alquang. Sparks getting it lower and lower. Root's actually going to pick that up with a nice hand of the gods from Allied, and unfortunately Sparks unable to disengage. Now we're going to see continued initiation. No ultimate's Pon Pon going to come in. That's a big ultimate now. Last is going to be forced to leap out. Will they pick him up? They will. Pon Pon takes a lot of damage. He will be falling. The ultimate from Sparks deals some damage as well. Allied goes down to Best. Sparks takes out Pressheart. So that's a double kill now from Best. Shing going to fall as well. 4 down from Root. They're going to pick off Jerby here as well. It looks like he's going to try to kite them around. It's not going to be enough. Pon Pon out with the stun and spin to win. Deicide comes out for Pon Pon. And now a Gold Fury should be a Fire Giant should be in the make. They'll maybe push. No, it is going to be a Fire Giant now. So Curse will get this for free, and that's going to be pretty difficult for the boys over on Root to deal with. And yeah, Pon Pon there showing us some of that Pon Pon luck, barely getting out of that fight alive, as did Zatman. I can't believe Zatman didn't die there, to be honest with you. So he's going to go ahead and push this mid lane up. The Fire Giant buff, when it does apply to him, will help him heal up. There's no reason to watch that go down, so we can watch Zatman throw in these auto attacks and see what he elects to do with his buff. Now you can see it'll start ticking up here in just a moment as the Fire Giant will fall. We're going to see the recalls likely coming out from most of the rest of the team, or will they come join Zatman? It looks like they're going to join to this right side lane as Zatman pushes the mid here. Let's go ahead and take a ride on Pon as you see him ticking up, being the melee carry here for Team Curse. Heal coming up from Shadow Q. The tornadoes are good, of course, as well. Mid lane is being pushed currently by that on her. So 3 towers will fall and a Phoenix, it looks like. And you can see now as we revisit Zatman, the regen coming up from the Fire Giant, so very, very strong. He's actually going to pick up this tier 2 tower over on the left side, perhaps, as well. Looking like a very, very strong point now for Curse in this game, sitting on that 9,000 gold advantage. That man's going to pick up a red buff from them. Always a good buff to deny. The recall's going to start coming out as they've gotten really what they came for. They'll go back, they'll finish off those items in their 5th slot, probably get those high-tiered items, and then look to continue this push and maybe transition into a victory here. Taking a look at the items coming out, Jotun's Wrath has been finished now onto Pon Pon as well, so that item's seeing a lot of play. A Divine Ruins out on Alquang to deal with the Odin, whose healing is quite substantial, as well as the Sobek does have a bit of healing himself, who Sobek working on that mystical mark here. The Bulwark and Voidstone done on Hercules and Guan Yu, and it's going to be a Brawler's Beatstick on her, so really looking to stop the heal from Ra and Odin in these team fights, and so far it has looked very, very effective. And as we were mentioning at the beginning of the game, a lot of CC over here in Curse and very, very little on Root. They're going to have to rely a lot on positioning and burst damage, and it just hasn't been there yet. Shing does have a pretty nice game going here at 12,300 gold farm, but he's sitting behind on her, as well as Thor and Alquang, so he's really going to have a hard time. Plus, the Hercules here has done quite a bit of damage as a support-based character. We're going to see the Taolu Assault now coming up from Shadow Q, just trying to force Root away from their buff, and you got to think the push is coming in now onto this Tier 2 tower on the left side of the map. You know, there's not really too much to say about this at the moment. I'll go ahead and pop it over into isometric here, as we see this is going to come in, you know, really at any moment now. And really, you can see just Root's going to be forced to fall back. They can't take this fight here. They basically have to. They're going to get zoned by the tornado. You know, and if they stay too close, as you see there, you're going to see Guan Yu coming in, and they're really just making a mess of things. Allied going to get stunned out. He's going to take a lot of burst damage. The immediate girdle use and follow-up ultimate now. The Ring of Allied will save a bit. The Alquang ultimate comes out as well. Let's go ahead and pop back over to Pon Pon here and watch this fight from his perspective, as he will be doing quite a bit of damage. The Phoenix will fall now. It's 2 Phoenixes down. The snipe comes out from Jerby, avoided nicely. Here comes the Thor ultimate. He's channeling it. Where will he go? It's going to be on to Shing. Try to kill those backline carries now. He's going to have a really nice position. Actually get bored out now, taking a lot of damage. Pon Pon going to now teleport out with that Mjolnir's attunement, but a nice hold by Root. They're only going to give up a Phoenix. They won't give up too much more than that, nor any, and more importantly, any major player deaths. Pon Pon still sitting in the back of this fight. The Shadow Q staying out way in front, doing massive amounts of damage. Here comes a spin to win out from Pon Pon. That's going to be enough to pick up Shing. He's going to go in as well onto the Sobek here. Jerby's going to put out some nice damage on him. Aegis going to be used by Pon Pon, trying to avoid any additional damage. It will be enough. Zapman picks up Pressheart, and now that's the 4th god down for Root. Only the only the Ra remaining. Pon Pon considering recalling there, but the Fire Giant buff just too sexy. He's gonna bring him back up. You see those fire minions coming in, and this certainly will be a victory for Curse here now, ladies and gentlemen. Here in 240 minutes, in about 30 minutes, I think 27 minutes or so, that game does 37:50 or 37:30, I'm sorry to be exact. So there it goes, ladies and gentlemen, in favor of Curse in game number 1. So that is going to conclude my coverage here of this game. We'll take a look at our recap here, and then I'll be bringing the stream down, and it'll be passing back off to Indredd, or perhaps over to Another caster, not sure just yet, but taking a look here at the scoreboard, you see Pawn being very effective at 9 and 4, hitting 15,000 gold farm as predicted. Best farming up quite a bit. And you can see that unfortunately Jerby fell off really, really heavily there, even though he went 5 and 1. Just got really, really far behind, unfortunately, on that mid, and was not able to put out the damage.
Hey, Bart, can you hear me fine?
I can hear you just fine. And moving over here to
Awesome. All right, guys. My name is Steven Cooper. I will be filling in for Adam Indredd. He is having some technical difficulties, so pleasure first time casting with you, Bart. It has actually hasn't been at all I've ever casted with you.
Pleasure's all mine. Just finishing up here, the taking a look at the stats, and then I'll bring the stream down and toss it back over to you. You know,
No. The stream will actually stay on you.
Okay. The damage dealt here, you know, Spark's putting out a lot. They're 10k doing nicely for a support, and you know, kind of as predicted, Best is going to top. No, I'm sorry, Jerby actually takes it there at 22k, but just behind Best. I don't know if they told you, Steven, but I'm gone at 9. I have a hard stop then. So, are you sure you don't want to stream?
Yes, I'm positive this should be done by then. If we'll work it out then. But unfortunately, the technical difficulties on my end as far as graphics go, it'd be best interest to keep it on you.
All right, sure. So I guess we'll be waiting for the teams to get back into game here. I don't have any contact with the admin, so that will be on you to help coordinate that, sir. I'm going to throw us over to a quick, I guess, holding screen here, and until we get those guys back in game. Guys, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back with game number 2 here between Curse and Root. It is, of course, a show match between these fine gentlemen for the IGL, which is the International Gaming League. There is your sexy Smite background. We'll be back in just a minute, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will be back with you know, all of the good things. I don't have virtual audio cable set up, so you basically can't talk, or they will hear you on stream. But I'm going to play some music, guys, and we'll be back with game number 2, so stick around. Yeah, guys, we are looking at the game going to be starting here in just a moment for you, so stick around. About probably 2 minutes, I'll be hopping over to the other screen, so in the meantime, enjoy the relaxing tunes of the Secret Whistle. All right, friends, Romans, countrymen, it's time. Pop us over to the game screen. All right, Coop, I got you with me.
Yes, can you hear me all right?
I can hear you just fine, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to game number 2 here. It is going to be Curse versus Root. On the left side of your screen, the blue team. On the bottom of your minimap, it is Team Root. That is Jerby, Shing, Anatoly, Allied, and last they will be playing. Wow, it's a Ra, Loki, Guan Yu, Sobek, and on her team going up against Curse. The red team, the top of your minimap, it is Pon, Sparks, Zatman, the best, and Shadowq. They will be Freya, Ares, Thor, Agni, and Vamana here. What do you think about these team comps, Coop?
Well, I definitely think Root has more of an AoE type presence in team fights. Curse's team seems to be more single target damage. You do have the Freya with the AoE ultimate, but it is most of the time targeted for single targets. So I do think in team fights, Root will have a bit of an advantage here, but we'll see how it plays out around those objectives.
Yep, and you really got to like the Freya pickup on Pon. It's been very, very successful here. Let me hide that bar for you guys. Early starting items here, of course, we're going to see the Death Soul Vampiric Shroud coming out from Pon here, the Freya Pon build here. You also have Bancroft's Talon Magi on to Agni. That's really, really nice early magical power. In fact, 40 magical power plus the magical life steal. Of course, that's not going to be doing so much right now. You do have a really nice team, I think, coming out from Curse. A lot of AoE, a lot of CC as well. Over here on Root, they're going to be really relying on Loki to blow up Agni in the back of these team fights. In general, we see Agni pickup mirrored by a Loki pickup on the other team. But Agni considers such a strong pickup, you don't see that kind of ban for Loki for him. Honestly, generally teams reach for Agni if he is available on the board. But we with the side lane tanks of Sobek and of course the Guan Yu as well. You expect to see probably Guan Yu match up with Shing here, and that is indeed what it is going to be. It looks like they'll be going against Ares and Thor, which is going to be just a brutal lane to deal with. And we're going to see a little bit of is this an invade coming out here? It is. Yeah, last is actually picked up the blue buff. Pon is here. I'm now in stasis mode. Oh goodness.
Real quick, what is your time?
Now I'm at 2:18, 19, 20.
Okay, I'm about a second behind. Not too bad.
Okay, no bad. No big deal there. Ally takes a lot of damage. Going to get out. Pon taking a lot of harass from Lassus as well. Lassus positioning still very, very strong. But Pon can put out the damage himself. The knockback now from Lassus. Lassus needs to land just one more auto attack here to get this kill. Will he land it? Trying to land it. He does. Takes his time. Make sure to secure that last kill. And the first one comes out. Very, very nice positioning from Root. And the invade is successful.
And that's going to be huge for Lassie to get that first kill on her. Will snowball pretty early. He already does have the range poke, especially them being two melee gods on that right lane, and Sobek being able to CC so well. They are trying to force Vamana from getting less experience here, and they will force him out.
More aggressive play coming out. Shadowq going to be forced to dash on out of there. Vamana going to be played as a support basically in this lane. The Freya Vamana lane is, you got to worry about that. I mean, it's just going to be brutal. Like the damage they're able to put out and the knock-up, really, I think the knock-up and slow coming out from Vamana, plus the burst damage with Freya there with her slow as well, is going to be very, very effective. See, Lassus continues to zone her out with that javelin knock her back. You really don't want to get too close to Freya, but you see already a level 3 to level 1 advantage versus Pon. Really tough start for Freya, as generally she needs to get out to an advantage to be that effective in the mid game and really carry the mid game.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And it does look like Agni is picking up that experience buff on the side to get a little bit ahead of that Raw in the mid lane, but it does seem a pretty even farm right now. As well, actually, Derby is pushing quite a bit, and we will see how that turns out. Whereas on the left lane, it does seem pretty even at the moment. We do have an Ares and Thor matchup against the Guan and Loki, but Loki seems to be doing a little bit of roaming at the moment.
Once again, a lot of damage here coming out from Lassus on to Pon Pon. The knockup for Mana is good so far. Is it going to be enough? It is, it looks like now. Left side lane, I see chasing down Anatoly, but it's not going to be enough from Zapman. And who is this playing? Is that Sparks? This lane is filthy. Thor and Ares, very, very difficult to deal with. You can see the carry already being forced out of lane. Loki, in fact, doing a bit of jungling here is Shing. He's going to rotate over for that speed buff here now. And I would not be surprised to see him try to set up a kill onto Freya, considering how low they've been able to get her and how effective they have been at harassing down, Freya so far in this matchup.
Yeah, I think we definitely are going to see that. Loki does seem like you are correct. He will pick up that cooldown and then probably head over there. Let them push out a bit, and with Loki's abilities, he can get in and get out pretty quickly to avoid that Vamana damage. So we'll see what he does here.
Yeah, it looks like, I blagging out a little bit there. It looks like our replay servers are being a little bit hit, so I'll be sure to report that. I now see what Indredd was saying, but it is going to be a kill now coming on a Pon Pon. Likely a great bandage comes up, and Ally is going to secure that with the auto tech, and Root looking very, very strong here so far. Sobek a strong pickup versus Vamana, the ability to debuff his healing. Would not be surprised at all to see Ra going Divine Ruin this game as well to deal with that Vamana in his ultimate. But not, a tremendous healing-based team, but it certainly will help them quite a bit with that god in particular.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing a lot of counter building early on, especially since they got that first build. They're not going to be able to go their normal builds. I think they will have to switch it up a bit to play a little bit more defensively, and hopefully later on in the team fights can start going to those mainstream builds.
Yeah, my guess here is, guys, if you notice, if you were here for the beginning of the first cast, Indredd having some problems getting into stasis mode, being pulled down. It looks like, judging by what I'm seeing here, if I'm having some issues here, we're actually going to have an ult out in the middle lane, that follow-up ult from Jerby, and Root playing just stupidly well right now, in fact, and I'll get to that in a moment, but it looks like perhaps the download servers are a little bit taxed. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. As you see, Shing actually going to go ahead and run through the tower there. I'm at 403, 456 now. So in case you're seeing any issues on your end, that is where I am at. But it looks like there's a little bit of an issue here in this latest patch with the network there, and honestly it appears as if it's taking more bandwidth than necessary to pull this down. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly exit the Twitch chat, guys. So I unfortunately will not be available to change anything, but hopefully everything's good. I'll stay in for just a second, guys. Please let me know my levels are okay and that everything's good, and then I'm going to pop out of that to hopefully give you no more interruptions. As you can tell, my upload's fine and really my connectivity's fine. It appears to be the game just requiring a bit more. We're going to have a lot of initiation over here in the jungle. Zapman taking quite a bit of damage here. Shing going to fall to the best. It's a good pickup on Loki. Jerby's going to pick up Zapman on that rotation. Allied zoning there into the mid lane to try to keep the Agni out, but of course Agni doing such nice range damage. Let's see what we have going on. Lassus picks up best as well there on that rotation over. Picks up that Agni. Unfortunately, I didn't miss that. Trying to look at the chat. Looks like it's fine now. So I'm going to go ahead and pop out of the chat and all of my other windows here and hopefully give you as little interruption as possible.
And it does look like a tower dive there from 3 members of Root do pick up that triple kill for Root Gaming, and they're leading now 6-1. They do have that early advantage, and we'll see where it can take them. It does look like they are taking the enemy's buffs at the moment, and we may see an early Gold Fury.
Yeah, I mean, the Gold Fury pickup here at this point would be really, I think, kind of difficult for them to do without any shred. It's going to be difficult to, get that damage out. I mean, and they don't really have necessarily the perfect team for it. You'd probably prefer to see, a healing some amount of healing over here on Curse. The Raw pickup would certainly have been nice, or even something, I mean, you unlikely that you see it, but an Arachne or something that can, or a Basset even, that could help a tank at this point for such an early attempt. It would be very surprising if they did it. But certainly would not put it past them. It is a show match after all, so they probably want to show you guys a good match, as you can imagine here. Taking a look, young
stream friends. What time are you at?
I'm sitting at, well, I've just gone into stasis mode here briefly, but I'm sitting at 7:43 lockdown for the moment.
Okay.
But it looks like I am a little bit choppy here. Player's going to go ahead and run off the map now, guys, and it looks like maybe it's a problem on our end with the replay.
Okay, I will just go ahead and wait while you resync
I'm
up
sitting
right
at,
now.
7:47 now, 48 on the replay counter, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 6.
Okay, we're synced up.
All right, great. Freya in some trouble here. It looks like in the back here. Sorry, Coop, if you hear me cutting out, it's because it's really difficult to hit some of the buttons as well as control to talk
Not
to
a
you.
problem.
It's still broadcast. Of course, Desert Fury coming out on top of Shadow Q. The ultimate's going to come out on top of the girdle as well for Anatoly. Will it be enough to stun him out? No, it's going to be an Aegis in that big baby form. He's going to go to his knees. I'm back into stasis now. This is fairly frustrating.
And the Freya ult will come out, and it does look like that Shing will continue to tower dive. However, he will get picked off by 3 members of Curse Gaming, so that will be a pickup for Curse. It is now 6-2, and the engagements are still going on while Freya and Agni pop sprint to go ahead and chase Allied. The Sobek down. Sobek does pop, but he does get banished while he's using his ult to escape. And 2 members of Root will back out and leave Sobek all alone. It does look like they will pick up that kill. And the favors turn, it looks like 6-3 in Curse's favor right now, but they are still a little bit behind. But like I said, the team fights, they do seem to be going in Curse's favor.
Yeah, we're watching that back here now as Zatman's just ulting in now on the Thor. The stun coming out, Charge Blade, of course, in the back there by Freya. Allied is a bit out of position here. He's going to take a lot of burst, as you were mentioning, and he's going to try to dash out. It won't be enough, though. The hammer comes out from Zatman to clean him up now. So sitting at 7 minutes and 5 seconds, 6 seconds in the game counter. 6-3 advantage for Root currently. Their gold advantage is sitting at just about 1,100, 1,200 gold now. And, you know, no real non-conventional items being picked up. It's going to be a very, very early Executioner on top of Death Soul and Boots for Lassus. No big surprise there. Zatman's going to go for this blue buff here, and, you know... a little bit of a strange rotation there as I popped over to him, but you know, he's going to be able to finish off that Warrior Tabi and probably start building into a second item, which you'd expect to be the Void Blade here on to Thor, but we will certainly see Magi finish on Agni as well, so his penetration is starting to get up there, but you know, definitely still the advantage in favor of Root, and you know, Lassus off to this kind of lead in the early game is very, very good news for them.
Yeah, on her will definitely be able to put out a lot of damage, especially if he does go for that early pen, like you said, with the Executioner. And I do expect maybe him going to a Devourer's Gloves after that. So, because he does know he is getting the kills at the moment, he is getting the farm, he is able to control the lane. So Devourer's Glove would not be a bad move, and it does look like an engagement onto the Vamana right lane right now, as he is going to back up, but they will turn on that Freya.
Oh, where are you in the timer?
And I'm at 10:08, 10:09.
Oh, no. You're quite a bit ahead of me now.
Okay.
I'm sitting at my in-game timer is 18:20 now. My replay's 10:03, so you're about 5, 6, 7 seconds
10
ahead.
seconds.
Yeah. So I'll just continue on here now. Yeah, that won't be a continued engagement, of course, by that Freya. In the left side lane, it looks like they've gone back. It was getting a little chippy over there in the jungle, and you know, to be honest with you, it may just be better for me to solo cast this because I'm going to desync like crazy.
Okay, not a problem then. You go ahead and have fun with that, and hopefully this match will not interfere.
Cool, man. All right, so guys, thanks to Coop. He's going to pop out now, though, as this is we're having some serious technical difficulties here. I think that there's something wrong with our replay servers, or maybe it's TeamSpeak or something. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But moving forward here, guys, I'm going to go ahead and bring it to you in line so we're not trying to catch up to each other as we were desyncing pretty wildly there, left back and forth. So you get me for a solo cast, you beautiful viewers out there. It is going to be, again, Root versus Curse here. It is a show match for IGL, the International Gaming League, guys. You can check them out. There's a sweet Reddit post on the Smite subreddit about all the information about what they will bring. But in general, it is a little bit of a lower skill cap. Still, you know, organized, high-level play, but a bit of a lower skill cap than, you know, your top teams like Curse and Root, giving an opportunity for some of the competitive but not professional players to have an opportunity. So basically, you have your casual competitive tournament put on by BLG. That would be kind of the lowest tier of organized competition play, of course that being casual competition, and then, you know, kind of in between you'll have the IGL here, and then above that, of course, you'll have the premier tournaments Curse puts on, as well as My Revenge currently, and that have cash prizes and those types of things involved to work your way up. There'll be leagues, ladders, all the fun stuff that you can expect from any premier gaming site on the IGL, so do stick around and be sure to take a look at them as it all comes together, ladies and gentlemen. But we did have a very slow start for Ponpon here. It still is a bit under level for where Freya would want to be working on those boots, and it's so important that she gets those early items, and you got to wonder if he's going to be able to snowball really at all in this game. Of course, his late game damage will still be pretty significant, not like a Shibalanke or something like that, where really you can have just like a shit start and still come back, but you know, here Lass is carrying wards, and that's one thing that, you know, I like to point out and I love about this game is the really wards are a team effort. Now we're going to see Lass is throwing in those auto attacks. We're just going to stay with him for this team fight. He misses his pin on the pawn, unfortunately, but you know, he's able to stand his ground pretty strongly there as an on her. looking in the face of a really an under-leveled Freya. If she was at level and at farm parity, it would be really hard for him to man up on her. Alex actually getting a nice pick. Will it be a follow-up stun? No. Going to be barely missed there by Lassus, as you saw just a bit to the left. And down will go allied to the Shadow Q Pon combination. And looking, that looks really nice for Curse so far. The banishing to come out. Will they have the positioning now? Lassus will jump straight up. What a play. He's going to try to man up here. He's going to miss his pin. Unfortunately, Desert Fury coming out. He really needed that to hit. And as you can see, he won't be able to convert that into a kill. The rotation from Agni coming in, the call coming out from Jerby as well. So you see Lassus popping the sprint to get out of danger. That would have been really dangerous for him, as best on Agni certainly is no slouch, and we'll watch him as he's going to rotate over to the mid lane yet again, guys. I'm going to quickly here just leave it on best. I'm going to pull up the stream again, as I'm fairly confident that it is not going to make a difference whether or not I'm there or not. So I'd like to see what you guys are saying. Tell me if I miss anything. Of course, solo cast not tremendously easy to do, but certainly doable. But I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys the best experience possible. So please do let me know if there's any issues with the levels or anything that you're seeing on my end. In the left side lane, we have Sobek kind of solo pushing up this tower here, is allied, getting some much needed experience and farm for him. I'm sorry, defending that tower solo. So he's going to get some nice creep kills in the mid lane. We do see some initiation now. Zatman going to get that stun off on Anna, but they realize that they don't have enough to really go in there. The dash out from Guan Yu too strong, as well as the heal that he can provide for himself. We're going to see a bit of a rotation over here to the left side of the map, as you see Zatman's going to come back over here with Ares. Sobek is there warding up just behind the Gold Fury, that ward right there that I'm now zooming in on. So the ward placements, on both camps are pretty subtle so far, not a tremendous amount of spamming. You see just, a couple wards over here from your blue team of Root Curse's wards sitting, more on this side of the map here. This is, of course, an isometric view that we're taking a look at here. So I can give you this very, very, very high angle if it is necessary. As we see currently the team's moving around in the back here. You see the Gentleman of Root going to pick up this buff. We're actually going to 4-man collapse now on this cooldown reduction buff. That one is pretty hard to take out. Left side of the map, Loki in maybe a bit of trouble here from Thor, but puts out some serious crits. Zatman had really not too much trouble to deal with Shing, I think, at that point. Yeah, I know I'm covering the Fire Giant Gold Fury, but, I mean, they're up. You can see the dots here. If you want me to change it, I will, certainly, but I would be perfectly happy to if you would rather see that instead of me. But like you said, my face is beautiful. Why would you? We're going to have some initiation now coming in from the gentleman from Curse. Here comes the ultimate out from Pon. He's going to try to save as much of that as he can. He's going to get through that Aged Amulet. You see, actually, that reduction on time of the Amulet is going to make quite a difference here for Pon. As he's able to actually stall a bit, and they'll pick up Lassus as well, and that's really what Pon needs to get back into. He's going to get that double kill, and now Fatalis is going to be coming out here for Pon. We know that he likes this item and has been looking for a way to pick it up. And here it is. So left side lane, we see Ra getting a little chippy now with Ares. Zatman's forced to fall back a bit. Anatoli's going to rotate over. The stun comes out. Doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Sparks does have the chains, and now Zatman in a lot of trouble here. Anatoly with a really heads up play immediately starts channeling his ultimate. Now will look to fall back in the right side lane. Freya continues to farm up as well. And he's actually going to get a lot of damage out on this tower, will Pon. So this is actually really starting to turn towards Curse. You see they've actually equalized and overtaken Root and Gold. They're down 1 kill, but that double kill on Freya was huge. Agni perhaps in some trouble here. Let me see if I can hop on the back of Loki as Agni actually stays in there. Very ballsy to try to pick up this red buff. Jerby's there as well. Best not too worried about that Loki. His ultimate is down. Shing takes a lot of damage from those meteors, and you see he's going to have to Shing out and head back to the base. Best just really, really has come into his own as one of the premier, if not the top mid, especially in the North American scene. Really on the back of plays like that. Really knowing his limits, knowing where he can stay in and out, and his positioning and team fights, ultimate placement, all very, very strong, which is what you look for in a mage mid, and even capable of playing a little bit of Loki here and there. You see, so. That was really cool. If you guys missed that game, Loki mid against Alkwong, very, very effective. Freya continues her farm in the right side lane. This is really where it gets dangerous. Is Root is trying to rally and deal with, kind of this game getting away from them now. And I think they've, to an extent, forgotten a little bit about Pon, who's now got 4 or 5 waves of free experience. And, that's going to put him at basically 6,400 gold farm. That's right in line with where Jerby is, in fact, on the Raw. And as we said, Jerby likes to play that roaming style of mid and really go and help his team out, try to get those big ults out of the jungle and the snipes, and really known for having, really excellent aim and positioning with those ults, or at least going for lots of very high-risk, high-reward plays and often hitting them. However, you see it does often put him at a disadvantage in farm, and now Freya is going to be able to eclipse him or stay really like in lockstep with him at this point. Fatalis finished with the Boots of the Magi, double starter items. And maybe a little bit of trouble here could be the Vamana. Last is trying to put out his auto attack damage. Shadow Q standing his ground, but the question is, when will Freya come in? You see she will be coming in from the back here into screen in just a moment, and we'll hop a ride on the back of Palm. Sprint is used. Here's the ultimate now. Lassus is going to go down here to the last hit there from Pon, and that Aegis Amulet nerf, I cannot stress really with any more kind of importance or vigor or conviction how serious that is of a buff for Freya. The 1.5 second now on that ult allows her to go up into the air and still hit you with 2 of her bombs if she times it properly. And so, a pickup for Pon that already was very strong. Now it's going to be very huge for him. He has some guaranteed damage based on Freya, whereas before you can only guarantee 1 of those would hit. Now you can guarantee 2, which is quite a bit of burst damage, as we all very well know with the pen that Freya can put out. Fatalis as well, very strong on her, as you saw, able to chunk out Sobek. And that is really the danger of Freya, is her ability in the late game, similar to a Xbalanque, to just chunk through tanks regardless of their protection. So, and now that he's recovered from that poor start, sitting at 3 and 2, lots and lots of gold farm, 300 gold ahead of the enemy mid, 700 gold ahead of the 3 and 0 on her at the time. It just looking really, really strong for Pon and Curse. You have to like this position they're in now. They've equalized this. They've taken a 2,000 gold advantage. They have strong positioning in the mid lane. Very hard to gank out. There's a lot of stuns coming out on a Derby. They're going to force him back. This is going to be a free tower for them. And first tower does go to the gentleman of Curse. Root over here. You see Xing trying to get his farm up onto Loki, but sitting at only 6k. He's 1,500 gold behind individually Freya. And Freya is going to be able to blow him up once she gets her first damage item coming out. Very hard for Xing to deal with this. If he initiates onto her, she will be able to Aegis it and then lift him, and then she has her own invulnerability to deal with. The right side lane, it's going to get a little bit chippy as well, but a little bit of harass coming out, some poke. Pon gonna get a nice banish. This is gonna be a lot of damage coming out on Ally. You see it's gonna force the dash out, and but she still got 400 damage bursted out on him before that. Simply using 3 cooldowns there that are fairly short and fairly spammable. Rotating around is Agni out of the back as well, and we may see a team fight brewing here. It looks like Curse is going to rotate back to the mid lane and try to maybe collapse on Guan Yu here. You see him dashing out. Will it be enough? I'm not entirely sure that it will, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes the Vamana. There's a slow out. Pon going to start putting out all that damage. He's going to be forced to ultimate. That is very, very good for them as the C5 comes in. Xing's going to go in on top of Best. Best going to clean up just like that. By coming in is Zapman. Zapman not in time, but still a heads-up play from him. Spin to win coming out, and Loki is going to be falling to Zapman. Oh my god, he's going to get out of here. Oh no, Zapman just missed time. That auto attack. Does he have cooldowns? He does not. And Xing going to double back very, very smartly. And Xing gets out of there. Very clever play by Xing. And a little bit of a misplay there by Zap. Nets the life from Loki. And now Zapman has over-pursued at this point. Onto Thor, out of mana. Knock from the on her Aegis very, very well, but Jervy has that ult. Here comes the ultimate now from Sparks. It's going to get completely negated by both the ultimates and the beads. Vamana trying to get out of there as well, and Root may be trying to go back in now. Allied looking for that pluck, but the chain's just too strong. They zone him out very, very effectively there, and Xing, smart stuff doubling back there. And, to be honest, I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't just try to go for him on the double back, knowing, how as much as these teams play each other, it would not have surprised me at all to see them just guess that outright. Here we see when you first go to someone like that, it's a little bit there. You nice here reorienting there. We know of that bug as well. That should be cleaned up here shortly. But Pon and some risky positioning here. No ultimate on the Loki. Immediately goes for the banish and runs away. And smart stuff. It'll pick up the Guan Yu, and they know that they're not going to be able to do anything. Not going to be able to do anything too serious. Yeah, guys, as you see there in the chat, channel is now partnered. I am broadcasting at 1080p. If you wish to watch it at that resolution, you are certainly welcome to do so. Pon picks up a red buff from his side of the map now. Loki continues to rotate around the map, trying to get his farm up as well. Pon slowed down just a bit. Jeremy now within 200 gold. Lassus in a lot of trouble. That cripple going to be doing work. Will it be enough? The dot's out there as well. The beam misses. Lassus is going to survive that. Thankfully for him, that he would have been in a lot of trouble. The stun comes out from Best now. Ultimate's going to come out as well from Anatoly. Let's get in here. Sparks getting picked up by Jerby. He's taking a lot of damage here as well. Jerby now trying to get out of this. Spin to win's coming out. Where is that rotation from Pon? You know it's coming in. Let's take a look at him as he comes back across the map. And he's going to run into many of these players. There's the ultimate coming out from him. And Pon through the wall. Is it enough? No. Anatoly with the jukes is enough. And Lass is going to pick up Zapman in the back there. Big, big, big plays. The turnaround from Pon. The damage here gets stunned out. Desert Fury and really nice collapse by Root. Lassus once again. Very, very nice individual play. And now that will likely net them the gold for you. Vamana, the only one up to even be able to start contesting it. Of course, he won't. You can see the damage already coming out, and with between the Loki and the on her, enough to pick up that kill. So yeah, really nice play by Root. You have to really like that if you're a Root fan, or if you are, of course, on Team Root here, that they were able to turn this game around a bit. It was starting to get out of hand. Now you see them take that 6-kill advantage, and the swing has been about 6K as well in the last couple of minutes, as they're now up 40K to 37 to a 3,000 gold advantage now for Root with that Gold Fury, and they can start really buying those wards and spamming them, as you see the purchases coming out from both teams, in fact. Oh, excuse me, guys, hold the card. So, what will we see next is the question. We're going to see the warding coming out from the tanks around the Fire Giant, of course. You know, let's look at the items quickly. Devour's Glove's going to come out 4th item on Lassus. You know, I don't think, has he gone back yet? He has. Yes, he has. So he's going to finish those off, of course, as he did just recall there. It's going to be an early Deathbringer onto Xing. You know, I like this pickup, of course. Uh-oh, here we go. He's going to get the damage off on the Shadow Cube. Not going to go in. This is, you know, it's fairly back and forth here. But currently, Root does certainly have that advantage. Xing going to continue to farm up over here in this right side lane. Pawn picking up the blue buff in the background here. As you can see, I'll go ahead and just show that just for funsies. There he goes and picks it up. Left side lane, Lassus playing it pretty aggressively. Guan Yu's rotating over, as is Thor. Guan Yu, of course, from his team, Thor from the enemy team of Curse. You can see their positioning starting to get aggressive. We're missing Jerby from the mid lane. He's going around to pick up some buffs. Agni is there, and he will continue his farm. He is staying now a little bit behind, and in fact, Jerby has skyrocketed beyond both of the carries over on the on Curse there between Agni, and you see Lassus' attack speed already up really high with that Executioner and Devourer's Gloves. There appears to be some amount of technical problems, guys. I'm not sure if it has to deal with, not sure really what it's dealing with, but the damage on Sparks is getting pretty big here. The ultimate's coming out. They're going to stun him out. Desert Fury, big plays by Lassus. Great positioning, and you know that's something that you really see from most of the kind of this style of player that Lassus is. You can see it across all MOBA games, that at the end of the day, it's not about their decision-making process or about their meta knowledge or their knowledge of items or anything like that. It's simply their positioning and their ability, and their game sense is just so strong. The footsies coming out from Lassus, they're really nice. Anatoly's in a very bad position, however. Pon going to put out massive damage in him. You can see continuing to put in those pulse shots, and down does go Anna to Pon. So Pon continues his snowball as well. An ultimate's out from Thor, I can hear. Let's see if I can take a ride with Zap. There he does go in. Going to stun out onto Lassus. Of course, those pull shots coming in as well. Just a couple more. It doesn't matter. He's going to get stunned out by the Agni anyway. And that is certainly that. Vamana and Sobek having a bit of a slap fight over here in the right side lane. Left side lane, Loki and Ra looks like they want to make a move. Could be in some trouble. Here is Best if they're able to initiate on him. Xing is going to go for that ultimate. Here comes the burst. Best immediately ages it, and he's going to dash through. And no, that beam is not going to hit. The stun is good. Best starting to put the damage on. Xing will get the turnaround. He will not. Xing wisely not going to continue on in there. Frey, as you can see, can wait out that H stalemate now with the changes to it. And a great turnaround by Curse. And once again, they're back really close in this game. That 3,000 gold advantage cut to 1,500. So it's getting there. It's certainly getting there, friends. Oops, I've just rebound my right lane hotkey. I will now rebind that to the actual right lane. Make sure that my key bindings are right. Sorry for that. Right there. I've just gotten a text message here. What do I want to eat? Huh? I think my boss is gonna order me food to my house now. I gotta, guys. I will have to dip out of here at about 9 o'clock, so the coverage will be continued by another caster. But as you can see, Root, a little bit of an overplay there. They lose Anna, and then they lose Xing in the process, trying to clean up afterwards, and ultimately they lose Lass as well. So really unfortunate for them. Oh, wow, look at this. A Height of the Leviathan going to come out onto Ra. Jerby forced to respect, I guess, the damage from Pon there. You know, that ultimate, and you know, I wonder if Root was going into this knowing about the change of the Aegis and thinking about how that would specifically affect Freya, because again, as I said, it's so good for her that was changed in terms of her ultimate viability. Here we go. We're going to have a little bit of a skirmish popping up. They're going to go for Lassus in the back. The team fight, the cripple, very strong against him. The ultimate's coming out. He goes down to the dot. Anna's going to fall as well. Double kill picked up by Curse. And this is just really starting to get out of hand now as they're going to turn this one back around. They're going to basically bring this back to another 3,000 gold swing. So we've seen 9k swing in the last couple of minutes. Jeremy, just for shits and giggles, going to pick up that blue buff with his ultimate. Why not? Let him know that he's there and he is not afraid to use an ultimate. Here in the mid lane, nothing really cooking so far. You see that it's a little bit pushed up. I'll continue here on the Jeremy. He goes for some counter warning. The push is out now. Basically uncontested for Curse here in this right side lane. Sparks really, really coming into his own here for Curse, guys. If you didn't notice in the 10K tournament, Sparks playing very, very strongly. And here, once again, you can see his positioning, his strengths, all coming out, and he's really kind of coming to his own as a player. Gold Fury going to be picked up, and this will put Curse firmly in the lead now, unless there's some kind of miracle still, but Jeremy not having his ultimate up, using it to steal the blue buff, unfortunately, there. You know, and this is where Curse takes the lead in a really, really meaningful way. They're now going to have that advantage of 2,000 gold, or really, more accurately, about 1,600 gold. And they should be able to continue the snowball. You see Pond, though, is where the majority of that farm is, and that is a big problem for Root. The damage of Freya with Demonic Grip and Fatalis, so much attack speed. Gem of Isolation to keep them there for the double slow. She has so much utility. You'll expect to see him sell probably this Death's Toll first and move into a Tahuti, or perhaps more physical damage. We'll see what he elects to go for. Vamana with his hide enemy line and a Magi, he's going to start getting really, really tanky, very hard to deal with. And another Brawler's Beat Stick picked up here, onto the Thor. Once again, we see this item coming out to deal with the Ra, and once again, you know, it's going to be on to Thor. So with Titan's Bane Voidblade, a lot of pen and a lot of crit now going to start coming out from Thor, and he's going to be dealing lots of damage. You'd expect him to see maybe a Doom or Deathbringer, perhaps Magic's Blessing coming out for him next after that. More pen being picked up over here on Loki and Honor. Honor trying to get those stacks up on the glove, but it just hasn't been that good of a time here for Lass. Now you see that tower going under attack. Last hour taking a lot of damage from Zap. Is the rotation coming out? Yes, it's going to be Agni. Zapman going to go ahead and ult here. And let's see what he elects to do. He's going to likely come back in onto Lass as the rotation comes out. No, Zapman going to get out of there. Best calling off that, or Zappa rather, the shot caller, of course, for Curse calling that off. And still, the slap fight continues over here in this right side lane. Allied and Shadow Q just going at it. But you got to like the farm on to Vamana over the Breastplate of Valor Sobek. This very expensive item here. Magic's Blessing and Nemean Line going to be done with Shadow Q, giving them a nice mid-game timing where they're going to be up in terms of their damage mitigation on that main tank. So, and then with the snowball that's currently going on with Freya, they should be able to transition this, and it should be very, very, very strong. Whew. Boys, should have got some water before I started this, but that's okay. Nothing really cooking right now. The team's going to go back and start. I'm taking off my sunglasses. Hard to see. And this hat because it's getting hot. All right, so teams positioning right now. Nothing really too extraordinary to talk about. Last doing some counter warning over here on the left side of the map in the mid lane. Zap and Pond pushing that up. Really can't engage on them there. The stun out from Thor with the damage from Freya is just too high. It's going to be a Fire Giant move here. This is clever from Curse. No, I'm sorry. It's going to be a collapse. Actually, they're going to try to pick up Xing. They know he's there. The tailwind from Allies there. He just heard Freya counter ward now. And it's going to now, here we go, under the tower. It's going to be a dive onto Allied. The spin to wind's out from Zapman, and there will pick him up. Xing coming in with the ult onto Pon Pon in tower range, but she has that ultimate to deal with. The dot is still there, but as you can see, can delay those blasts, able to pick that up. A bit of a flank attempted out by Root. A great Aegis coming out there from Pon Pon to avoid that damage. The ultimate's going to come out from Sparks. Now, does Jeremy have anything to deal with this? Yes, he's going to be forced to use his Aegis out. Unfortunately for him, it's going to get that Zap stun as well. Desert Fury coming out. Going to be Aegis out by Zapman as well. Best coming in there, trying to put out his damage. He is quite a bit at this point. Thor up in the air. Here he comes in, but it's going to be a knockup as well. Zapman may be falling here, spins the win just to try to do anything. Lassus takes a lot of damage. The dive continues. Sparks picks up Lassus, though, for his trouble. And Atoli will be falling here as well as he gets knocked up by Vamana. That is a 4-man wipe here for Root. It's for one trade to Best, and this is to Curse, and this is going very much like the last game where you saw them get picked up, and really 4-man pickup about the same point in the game here. This will be a tower and most likely a Fire Giant as well here for Curse, putting them into a very, very significant lead. As we pass the 30-minute mark, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. The score is 16-15 in favor of Curse. They are up 1-0 in this best-of-3 show match, and they are currently up about 4.4 thousand gold, which is really a very strong item for two players. currently, and you can kind of point at this Magi's Blessing perhaps, and even the walls of Absolution starting to come out. Really going to make it hard for Loki to deal his damage from behind, and almost 13,500 gold farmed here, as you see from Freya being played by Pon. Way. So the Phoenix does fall over here on the right side of the map. The recall not going to go for Sparks, unfortunately. And now comes the chase from Allied. No, he's actually not going to, it looks like. He may just go look to harass him a bit. But looking quite strong here for Curse now. Obsidian Shard going to be finished on the Agni, meaning that basically these Void Stones are not going to be doing too much. You see there's 3 of them, so a smart pickup there to go for that percentage pen, as you see 2 protection items over on 2 gods on this team. I think Pon will be proud of me for knowing that. That percentage is better when you have 2 items instead of 1. Shadow Q, now with that Magi's Blessing done, is going to start leading the charge on this Vamana. You see he's gone very tanky with the Warrior Tabi as well. He's going to allow him to put a little bit of damage, and really his base scaling is very nice. On top of this Warrior Tabi, he gets those crits out occasionally, putting out 150 extra damage here and there. Can't really be too mad about that. Actually, here we go. It's going to be an initiation onto the Fire Giant. It's easily spotted by Root. It may be a little bit of a bait even from Curse. I think they feel like, hey, I think they're feeling themselves a little bit like there's really not much they can do. Will they attempt to go in and steal this here? It's getting down lower and lower and lower. Now Sparks is rotated in. He's got his armor. Down goes the Fire Giant to the hands of the gods. The ultimate's coming from Anatoly, but will it be enough? Shing's going to initiate onto Freya. Force out that Freya. Ultimate most likely. Down will go Shing, however, to Pon, just turning around and blowing him up. Not even needing your ultimate. The ultimate comes out inside the Fire Giant pit. Best takes a lot of damage. Going to Aegis there. Will he be able to get another spell? He will not. Pon with a double kill. Working on the triple. There's a triple for Pon. And that's going to be another 4-man wipe. Jerby, the only one not there. And this could very well be a game-ending push, or damn near it, for Curse. They're going to be able to easily push. Oh, no, yeah, they're going for it. They're going straight in here. The call coming out from Zapman. We're going for the win. They don't have best, but they feel that they have it. They're going to get the Fire Giant in. They're going to go ahead and get this Deicide here onto Jerby. He's going to ult, but it's not going to be enough. It's not even enough to kill the fire minions. And in they stream into the base. Pon damage too dumb at this point. Going to melt this Minotaur, and Curse is actually going to take this very handily over Root Gaming. You can see a little bit of ultimates coming out. 50 seconds before they come back up. Congratulations, GG, well played to those gentlemen. And yeah, that's going to be that. I mean, Curse just dominated here. This early game here, in this game, they actually looked really scary for them. They had a 3-0 on Lassus over here onto Root. They had a pretty substantial gold advantage. We saw 6,000 gold swings into a 9,000 gold swing ultimately across those 2 Gold Furies that were picked up. But when you look at the player stats here, it's very apparent, I think, or rather it should be. Agni, consistently the highest damage dealing character in any game that he is in. In fact, way above Jerby. 8k more damage coming out. 18,000 coming out from Pon as well. Even going up over Lassus, who played really strong. Gold per minute, almost 400, 390 over here on Pon. That's really strong for him. The healing coming out is fairly negligible. In fact, Jerry putting out 8k is strong, but with the 6k coming out here, that's fairly negated. So Allied, of course, can heal as well. Anna not really putting out quite very much healing at all. I think you can look at that and say maybe the Guan Yu could have been a little bit more involved. But, ultimately at the end in this game, it just turned very convincingly for Curse. Who are really on a tear here, have seemed to have Root's number in the last couple of matchups that we've seen. So that is going to conclude our coverage, guys, for this tournament, or rather not a tournament. It was a show match here between Curse and Root for the IGL, the International Gaming League. I hope you guys enjoyed the coverage that was brought to you today. If you were here for the beginning of this, you saw the sick actual kind of setup they had. Indredd's cast looking really nice. Unfortunately, some issues, it seems like, with our replay service and connectivity problems. It seems like we're taking a lot of bandwidth to pull stuff down, so I'll be reporting that. But unfortunately, I had to take over the cast for you, and then I was having syncing problems with TeamSpeak. It may be TeamSpeak or something like that, because the minute that I stopped using it, I was fine. So I'm not entirely sure what the deal is there, guys, but we're going to try to run that down. Thank you so much for tuning in, and please do go visit IGL, guys. They'll be putting those links into the chat for you if you wish to be a part of it. Thank you, guys, for tuning in. Love you, and miss you and need you. And I'll see you guys again soon. If you need me for any reason, you can always find me at twitter.com/HiRezBart. IGL, you can see it, playigl.com. And yeah, that's going to be that. Curse takes it, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause to them. Well, not really, just one clap because I'm conceited, I guess. But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in. And be sure to give your feedback on if you like, having show matches and things like this. Certainly let IGL know and let them know what you think of their service. Go check them out at playigl.com. I will see you guys again tomorrow, my stream at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And now I will go find food to put into my face. I've had a lovely time bringing this to you, and I will see you all again very soon. Good day.